What's going on, everybody? Drew Sanford here. We are at the Bassmaster Classic, the 2022 Bassmaster Classic.
2022. Another year, another classic.
What was your first Bassmaster Classic?
I had never been to one, actually, until the one in Knoxville that I won.
No.
It was my first one.
Yeah. What year was that? That was like 17, 18?
18, 19, something.
Yep. I like it. We got Ben Ballou with us. Ben, what do you do? Tell us about you.
So, I am...
Who you is.
I am...
Hold it yourself.
I can, oh, you're not going to...
Don't let me just get in there, man, and just...
You're going to... So, I'm a host of Fishing University on the Outdoor Channel. Just started this year. My father-in-law, Charlie Ingram's had the show for 35 years. And Forever.
Long time.
I think since TV's had a dial on it. Yes. You know, you had to get up to change channels.
I know it was when TV's had a dial on it.
So, yeah, kind of bringing some new blood into that and co-hosting a fishing show and fishing opens and all that fun stuff, chasing kids.
You're doing are you doing a podcast? You were talking about doing a podcast.
I am. I've actually just got set up, kind of finalizing all my publishing software and all that type of stuff.
Y'all just built a house. You bought a house.
Yeah, bought a house, built a shop.
Built a shop. Are you doing it in your shop?
Maybe when I finish it.
Yeah.
I've not got it completely finished. Got the tackle stuff done though. Boat's ready. So
Priorities.
Yep. But yeah, we're actually going to have the Fishing University podcast. Should be out actually in the next couple of weeks. So.
Me and Ben met in, gosh, if I said 2012, was that a ball? No, it was before that.
Dude, I think it's been 15 years ago. I think it was like 2007.
I can't do that math. Can you do that math, Randy?
2007. 2007.
I remember we went to the national championship for the Bass Weekend Series in Dardanelle
at a Walmart in Louisville, Texas.
And I got that was
when we met.
Yeah, that's right, for college fishing. That was one of Wade Middleton's.
Whole different story.
It's a whole different story.
I remember going to the national championship after we met with college fishing, and I got so mad. I lose everything. If people are laughing right now because they know me, I lose everything. I lost my keys to my lock bar at the hotel.
I don't believe it.
And I had to go to And I had to go to Lowe's and buy a big whatever, a thing to cut it with, a padlock cutter.
During that tournament practice, the very first morning, I'm running out of a big bayou, and I'm like, thump, as I'm running out, and I'm like, okay, nothing's too bad.
Yeah.
And I set it down, I fish a little hole, and I pick back up, and it's like, so I like kind of ease around the rest of the day, and I get out and I spin the prop, and it's like, I'm like wobbling. I'm like, that's not good. So I had to actually call my dad. Had an extra lower unit because that's the second one I'd screwed up that year.
College fishing.
Yeah, college fishing. So he overnighted me a lower unit. I practiced with Drew 2 days.
I forgot about that.
Yeah, I actually
and we caught a lot of fish.
We did.
How'd that tournament turn out? Just
not very good. He did good. You did good.
Dude, I zeroed the first 2 days.
Listen to this.
No, and then I'm like, okay, what I'm doing obviously is not working. And like I pick a creek way up the river and go up there and had like 13 pounds with 4 and finished 47th to tell you how tough it was.
Oh, wow.
Dardanelle, baby.
Got paid $1,800 for, they paid the top 50 out of 200.
Yeah.
And got paid $1,800 for 12 pounds. Caught them all in one day.
That's Dardanelle. Dardanelle. Love Dardanelle.
Rather be lucky than good.
Yeah. That's when you could still make it to the Classic through the ABAs.
That's right.
Oh, that's right.
We had a chance. Yep. So we got Ben. We got Drew C. Runs the Baitworks Tackle division.
Knower of all music lyrics in the entire world.
I forgot. You know what's funny?
I first met Ben.
We're just telling Ben stories at this thing.
I first met Ben. It was all the way back in. You can
hold your own mic.
Yeah, thanks, man. We go way back. I met him last year. What was that? 2020, 2021. All the way last year at the Fort Worth Classic.
Not even a year ago.
Not even a full year ago. Just met this little dime piece at the piano bar in Fort Worth.
I've never
Obviously,
been called a little anything.
Oh.
Much less a dime piece.
No, anyways, yeah, last year went down to Classic, took a booth, had a lot of fun, met Ben, had, a lot of good times. So glad to be back at a Classic, glad to be back at the Classic with Ben. So always fun. And then we're joined by none other than Randy Conlon.
Randy Conlon here.
The famous R.C. Coleman.
No,
In the
not
flesh.
so famous, but have a lot of fun with it. We've had a great time down here already. The Classic is setting up to be unbelievable. It was 40 degrees here last week, and I think it was 80 or 81 here today, changing everything.
There's a possibility of some big
They're gonna.
big fatty females moving up and being caught. 100%.
Let me steal that bad boy. First off, ironically, from the 21 Classic, we went to the piano bar. Every night.
We're going to that story.
Every night.
Okay.
Every night we were at the piano bar. So this year we rented
I
a
think
condo.
the statute of limitations has ran out on
Yeah,
this. So
no.
be careful what
Yeah.
you tell.
You're welcome. You're welcome, Stick.
Yeah. So we
Defend George straight.
he did with all his money available. This year's Classic, we get a loft downtown, and the dude gives us the address, and it's literally a piano bar downtown as the address when you show up, and it's like, oh Lord, this is gonna be bad. So,
So Ben met us at a piano bar again.
yeah,
I did.
Yeah.
I mean, that's apparently the only place you can
Here,
go.
here
it's a
too.
sign. It's 100% a sign, Randy.
Yeah.
It's Randy's our DD for the week,
It's nice.
and we only have to walk, which is a plus.
We hope.
So he's a DH, a designated herder.
Her.
We're just herding
We're
drunk.
herd down
That's-
these, the ladder here.
Yep.
There's actually, it's got a great loft when you come up in here, but there's a ladder that's about 30 foot. Yeah, about 30 foot that goes up. And so one of them does drop. We got a 50-foot drop. But I am prepared. I got safety chains and ropes there to lower everybody down as we go. So safety
We got
first.
rock climbing gear.
Yes, rock climbing gear, everything.
Helmets.
You
I
have
just
that in
want-
a 3X.
yes, we do. Yes, we did.
Helmets,
Yes,
water
we
wings,
just-
we
we're
got
covered.
it. All right, no one's getting injured.
Yes.
The Classic's gonna be wild, and something we're trying to do. We're trying. We got Ben here tonight. We're just having a good time, and the Boatworks and Baitworks crew. We're down here. We got John from the marketing department. We got Randy. We got Drew C from Baitworks. So it's just gonna be a lot of fun. I mean, we hung out with the Bass Cat guys yesterday a little bit while they're setting up their booth, and I've never seen anybody wired trailer lights for so long as Bass Cat has. They've wired them for 4 days straight, so they flash and strobe and do braille and stuff when you walk by. So
We did not do that at the Charger booth.
you should have done that. I think it works.
You're missing
When we
out.
left there,
Like for this, like the visually impaired, you could have done a whole advertising.
I think fishermen have a
Visually impaired people
It's
can
it's a
see
it's a lateral line for rednecks. When you have rednecks with strobing lights, there's a lateral line that goes off in their head. It's kind of like NASCAR.
I've never really thought about that. Lateral line.
Lateral line for rednecks, strobing lights. So no, we hung out with the Bass Cat crew. They were great. Jack, our sales rep, was there, and then we were over at the Camus booth. And we got to do whatever we wanted there. They left us alone with the boats, so we got to play in the saltwater boat and their new walleye boat and all that. So that was cool. And then
They bought an entire greenhouse worth of plants. I saw
Yes,
when I
they
walked
did.
by.
During competition, Bass Cat spent more on Windex than anybody, I guarantee you there. That yesterday afternoon, we was there for a total of 3.5 hours, and they was cleaning underneath the bottom of the boats. I was back there this afternoon, in and out, and they was still cleaning on the bottom of the boats. I guarantee you that
There is not a
there
speck.
is not a speck of
Yeah,
dirt.
yeah,
lint,
they put-
anything
One could
on
say
the
that's
boat.
for the visually impaired.
yeah.
Dun-dun.
I thought our
it back
Boatworks
in.
crew cleaned the boat pretty damn good and
No,
efficient.
they
But
cleaned
Bass Cat has got that and their
No, they're
strobe
sharp.
lights.
They are sharp looking.
But there's got so Bass Cat I think goes with the redneck lateral line, strobe lights.
Okay.
And then Camus, their secret sauce is I don't know if it's the smell, the air quality.
Air quality.
It's air quality. It must be air quality. They brought a greenhouse with
plants.
the
Yeah.
plants.
Yeah.
So
What kind of plants?
greenhouse plants.
Oh, okay.
There's some ferns, maybe some ficus.
Get away from that ficus.
Yeah.
But
What's the Charger strategy?
The Charger strategy is pretty simple and small. We've got one boat, which actually happens to be my personal boat.
Did you drive? There was a 2500 or 3500 pulling it down here. There was a Charger with. I didn't think it was yours.
I don't know. They're the only.
Does yours have blue poles or is there
No.
colored poles on it?
I've
There's-
got red poles.
You have red poles?
I do.
Did you? Well, I
came
think I
in-
saw you then.
I didn't come in until last night, so I get up yesterday, and there's a couple of little new boat stuff that I kind of had to work out on mine after I'd fished in it for about 3 weeks. And again, I'd fished in it for 3 weeks, had pulled it from Florida. You want me to hold that?
no,
you-
you're the guest. You're the guest. I would
I would like it to kind of come down from up
like a
here.
boom.
Yeah, a boom. That's what I need.
I'm failing so hard right now.
But no, so I get up yesterday morning. I'm like, if I can leave somewhere between 12 and 2, it'll put me over here 8 or 9 o'clock, everything be good. So I had to change a couple of little things out, and I go to cleaning on my boat. And keep in mind, it's brand spanking new. You know, first time I took it out was in January. Oh, sweet. We got some.
I risked my life for that.
This
Literally.
Podcast and a buffet.
This podcast is brought to you by Tostitos. But so I go out and start cleaning my boat up. I did not realize how nasty and gross that it had gotten because I had been from Tennessee to Florida, Florida to Texas, West Texas back to Tennessee, and then a trip to South Alabama and back, fishing in farm ponds and pulling in the rain, and it was gross.
Gross.
Took me 5 hours to get everything cleaned out, vacuumed up.
You should have put a Bass Cat sticker on it and dropped it off over at their booth.
They'd just cleaned it off, huh? But no, we've got the Charger and the Honda. It's over beside the Falcon booth, and got my personal boat over there. And the Fishing University crew will be there, Charlie and Ray and myself. So swing by and see us.
How's Ray?
Ray's wonderful.
Good.
Ray's good. Just had knee replacement and driving over here to walk around.
Test it out.
Yeah, test it out. Break it in.
Break it
Yeah,
in.
break it
Break-in
in.
period.
That's exactly what he needs to do.
Yeah.
I like it. Man, the Classic's going to be awesome. Ben, have you talked to people about it? You know any of the anglers fishing?
I talked to Wes Logan just a few minutes today, and of course, I don't know if you've ever been around the little ball of hate, but he's not just the most positive person you'll ever be around.
Little boy.
That's what Mercer calls
We
him.
got some pro staff guys that are like that.
Yeah, that's what Mercer calls him. And he had filmed a show with us and left something in my boat, so I brought that back to him. I'm like, well, tell me about it. He looked at me and he's like, I'm rigging up wacky worms. Not the way I wanted to fish this thing. I'm like, okay, it'll be all right. He's like, we'll see. I'm not going to tell you I ain't going to catch them, but practice was not good.
Yeah.
But the crazy thing about the Classic to me, and I've never fished a tournament like this. I would love to. That's the plan, on the agenda at some
I got
point.
asked by like
You're
5
in the
people.
opens, right?
Yeah, I am in opens.
Yeah.
I got asked like we were coming down here. They're like, "Are you fishing it?" I'm like, "No. If I was fishing it, I would like have a poster all over town. Drew made it.
Yeah.
Oh, we'd have T-shirts.
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 Be
First
50
tattoo he's ever had in his life. He'd already had that Bassmaster Classic.
It'd be right across my forehead. Classic, bam.
Yeah. What was I even talking about?
The Classic.
He got me.
About Wes
Oh,
Logan
yeah,
and,
Wes-
wacky rigging.
Yes, and talking about practice. And he said he had a horrible practice.
Practice?
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 We don't need to practice, Randy. Sorry, movie quote from Sling Blade.
Yeah.
Those two.
So, but imagine practicing. So they practice 2 days, two full days. Then they're 2 days off. Then they practice one more day of official practice. Then they're a day off. And then they go fish the tournament. In the 1st of March, those fish could be
400 miles away.
not even in the same zip code.
Right.
Yep.
Right.
So practice, it's figure it out as it goes.
Okay, so today was 83 degrees for a high, and it's hot. Yesterday was 79 degrees. Tomorrow's 68 for a high, 3% chance sunny. 69 high Saturday, 79 high Sunday. Dude, it's going to be a slugfest. And it was cold last week. Them fish are coming out of a light winter, rolling into straight heat.
Yeah.
We walked around. We talked. How many guys are fishing in the Classic? Anybody have a clue?
55.
55. How many do you think we talked to today?
58.
Because I was at
Talk
it.
to a couple of them twice.
Ben was there.
At least 40 anglers.
A significant amount.
Yeah.
Over half the field.
Yeah,
well
over
over
half
half the
the
field.
Yep. So to me, I never got a vibe from anybody that they weren't catching them, in my opinion.
No, actually, Hank Cherry, we talked to him a little bit, and I just said, "What do you think about number 3?" And he said, "It could happen." And he said, "I'm really confident." He said, "If I can get him in the boat," he said so. And then we talked to a couple other people. They didn't push it there, but just the
vibe,
vibe
man.
they gave.
Like it is gonna be a
And the way the water
Crush
temperature's
fest.
warming up, even 55 boats is this lake will swallow them up. I mean, you're not. But even the guys that are going to the river, if you got Christie and Heron up there in the same area and stuff, I think with the water temperature dropping like it, you could run a bank And then 30 minutes later, a new fish could pull right up, and they can run the same water still and pull up and catch more fish. You know, and there's going to be such a variety. The water temperature's already jumped, what they say, 7-8 degrees already.
Yep.
Since, you know, just
since the last practice to that, and then it was warmer the last 2 days.
Yeah, so I mean,
Hartwell is going to show what Hartwell's capable of. I feel like. I think it's going to be
I was down here last year for a Bass Nation regional in, I think it was the first week of April. And there were fish everywhere on beds. I've never seen it to where they locked on and you couldn't get them to eat. Like, I don't know if just the ones that I was messing with had literally been fished for 50 times. You know, it was like a 150, 200 boat tournament. But I saw giant largemouth, like big ones, 7s and 8s, and just kind of cruising. You know, you'd kick one off with a trolling motor. And then I ran way up the Tugaloo, whatever it is.
Yeah,
A big river.
I've never been on this lake, but yeah, you're right.
And caught a 5-pound spot up there. Big ones. I mean, it's a big spot.
it's a big old spot.
So 20 a day I don't think will be. I think it'll be hard to be that consistent as much as everything's changing. What do you think it's going to take?
a lot.
I don't know. So
do
we
math
were
that far.
allow me.
Figures no
Don't do my dirty work. We were talking about it earlier, and actually earlier today we were actually kind of watching the 2015 footage. And, you know, everybody's bundled up. Everybody's 500 yards offshore. What? Yeah, not bundled up. RC always wears shorts.
Yeah.
That's not a good. That's how I know spring was here. Robins were.
We knew it was wintertime when Randy had his shorts on.
Yeah.
You should see what he wears in the summer.
Yeah. But, you know, you look at, I mean, it's 2015. Obviously, things have changed, but not that far off from the time of year. And there was guys 500 yards off the bank. I mean, drop shotting, Demiki, all that fun stuff before there was Demiki.
And I still think
And
they're going to
today-
do it.
yeah,
they're going to do. There's going to be a whole bunch of guys that fish offshore because I think you know Hartwell's got those. It's a herring lake. So there's
100%,
roamers, right? Like
but
so there's going to be big roamers.
There's
to be caught.
going to be pot-bellied sows that start poking shallow.
Yep.
I mean-
There will be fish caught on bed this week. From
But-
what the guys were saying, there was multiple anglers that said the same thing. They go, I may have saw a couple locking down on bed. Did you catch them? And you'd get grins, and you'd get winks, and you'd get, yeah, I dropped a bait on one, and it swam 15 feet off with it, and before I could finally shake it out. I think it's going down.
Well, and to kind of go back to like Ben's question there, and because of that and those changing, you know, the weather, lake's changing, right? Weather, wind, sun, temperature, everything's changing. I would say 18 to 19 a day, probably.
I think 18 a day will
18,
put you there.
18 a day puts you there, but I don't think it's going to be wire to wire. It's not going to be one guy lead all.
Somebody going to have a 23, 24 pound.
Right.
I think it's more.
I think it could happen later in the tournament too, but I don't think it's going to be. Whoever day one leader is not going to win it. I know what the previous one at Harris Chain was. Cruz just led wire to wire.
Yeah.
I don't see that. I don't see it happening. So
I'm laying out more towards like 60 to 61 pounds.
okay.
Wow.
Go
And
on.
I hadn't talked to that many people. So
I just think it's too right, man. I mean, you got the best in the world. We can argue about that whole conversation, but we got
as good as anybody in the world.
We've got as good as anybody.
That's
in
a
the
different podcast.
world. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, there'll be other people calling, they'll be drilling us later. I mean, wanting us to interview them after this is all said and done.
They'll be saying, RC Cola, come interview me.
They'll be,
Right.
They go, yeah. Well, I mean, how many of you sat here and seen and watched a lot of these, and I've watched a lot of the podcasts that that pulls a whole buffet up in front of them. I mean, how many, you don't see that.
That's just because John's the hostess with the mostest.
Yeah.
And can really film the
And
heck
that
out of the
rooftop
podcast.
air, I mean, to be out sitting here in the natural environment, I mean,
Yeah.
all that. So, yeah.
Some didn't want to do it.
Yeah.
Straight up. I
Yeah,
will say there were some naysayers in the group, John. But
John's scared of heights.
we thought we could pull it off.
KVD, and
Yeah.
he just couldn't make it here.
Yeah.
So I was a second choice after you
You
called
was-
KVD.
Yes.
Well, we told him he had Ben Baloo.
Yeah, no.
Well,
he
actually, no.
we-
When we called
called
him,
us.
he said, "Have you called Ben yet?" Yes. So, yeah.
he was threatened. I don't know. Some
Yeah,
say
I knew that. Did that to a lot of people.
Yeah, some say it was an MLF BSS
Yeah.
kind of deal. No, it was a Ben Below deal.
But-
Hey, Ben, where's MLS fishing this weekend?
They are on Smith Lake in Alabama.
I would have never guessed. I had no idea.
They are.
I see what you did there.
I would have not guessed it.
Dude, I'm a fan of the sport.
Bassmaster Classic.
It's the Catalina wine mixer.
I will censor myself. We can quote Sling Blade. I'll hold off on Step Brothers.
But I mean, legit. I like. Have you ever fished an MLF style format?
It's fun.
It is wicked fun. It is the most mentally crazy, taxing thing I've ever done. We just done like a little club deal where everybody was on a group text. It was kind of the redneck MLF every fish format.
Did you have strobe lights?
We did not have strobe lights.
you were lateral.
Yeah, we were completely sight
missed
feeding.
out. Oh,
Completely
man.
sight feeders.
Did you have any ferns?
We did not have ferns either.
0 for 2.
I know.
See, I couldn't do that because I'd be jacking with everyone. What was that? I mean, it was 72 or 74, 75, 77. Bassmaster Classic, they put CBs in all the boats. As they caught a fish, they was to call in and say...
Breaker one night.
Yeah,
This
breaker,
here's
I got
a
a
bandit.
fish.
You don't have to.
Yeah. Well, anyway, they had tried. They hadn't heard from Bill Dance, and this had went on for the first 3 hours, and he just hadn't contact. Finally, they cut. Hey, Bill. So he reached up and he goes, and then it was a 10 fish limit, I think. And he said, got 9 in the boat for 36 pounds. I thought he didn't have fish in the boat, and it spun half the field out. Knowing that we're going on, that's where I'm going. If it would jack with you, be out there. It would. Thinking, okay, well they've got one. I don't.
How did it not jack with you on Jacob Wheeler's couple days on Fort?
Yeah.
I mean, insane.
So good.
Yes.
Insane.
Yes.
So
He was leading his group.
Yeah, his
on the
group.
first day at Smith Lake too. He drops his boat in, they jump in.
Yeah, but was he leading by like 40 pounds or whatever it was?
I think it was 20 something.
Gosh, that guy.
Got 25-pound lead.
Yeah.
That guy. So yeah, I'll give. And I mean, I won't knock on MLF, especially since Baitworks will be at Redcrest.
Good point.
See how that segue just floated it right in there. But anybody interested, Redcrest, come out to Tulsa.
It'll be fun. It's gonna be Tulsa. We're gonna have all our crew out there.
40 by
Rain's
40
gonna be
booth.
out there. Yep.
Baitworks crew.
Who's gonna be
Selling
in our
tackle.
booth? What are we gonna have in our booth?
Oh gosh, we are going to have American Baitworks, so net bait, vicious, halo rods. We're going to have some doorbuster deals from Arc and some halo rods. We're going to have kind of be the sole representative of the retailer of Grundens.
Yep.
One of the big
Got some
major
Grunden
MLFs.
flip-flops.
Oh man, look at that! Well, stop by Redcrest, brother. We can hook you up.
Sweet.
Because we're going to have Redcrest. We partnered with St. Croix. We partnered with Yozuri.
St. Croix's releasing a brand new rod, and it's gonna be available only at Baitworks at first. It's gonna be cool.
Can we talk about that?
I don't know. Was I not supposed to?
I feel like it's the Baitworks podcast.
I feel like, anyways, it's going to happen, guys. Unveiling, St. Croix's unveiling a new
might
line
have
of
been a
rods,
secret.
revamped line of rods, I should say, at Redcrest. We'll be selling them.
St. Croix, the best rods on earth. What they
Best
say.
rods on earth. But we're going to have, gosh, what was it? Picked up, what's got Bascarilla?
Yeah.
Got
Their
some of that
ones look
stuff
cool.
ordered. Yeah, we
They're
got
out of
some new-
Florida.
Yeah.
They're out of Florida. I actually, ironically, Russell Jones, you guys know Russell, and then Arnold, my father-in-law, they got drawn with a boater up there. There's 3 of us staying in a room, and they both got drawn with the same boater. And they both, they ended up both cashing checks, doing really good with him. But he's got Bascarilla, or he's associated with Bascarilla.
Right.
They sent us a bunch of samples. They're cool. They really are cool baits.
What is it?
Right.
Plastics.
It's all plastics,
Oh, okay.
and they have some tungsten. But, just some good kind of unique looking soft plastic baits.
What's been cool about, from my perspective, we own a tackle store. It's a pretty big tackle store. I mean, we sell a lot of stuff. We're new, but we're growing rapidly. And we got our boat dealership. But, we get a lot of samples from a lot of different companies. And something that I think is cool has been watching the evolution. Like, it's hard to get Zoom. It's hard to get some of these brands that you're used to getting all these years. So you kind of got to go like, well, if I can't get them, I can't. Nobody stopped fishing. That's evident. I mean, it's exploded. So it's been fun watching some of these new companies start to try to make their own or pour their own baits and are they scalable and are they going to grow? I don't know. I
There'll be a
can't.
couple out of the 2 or 3 out of the
Right.
100.
There'll be
But
some,
there's been a
there
lot
will
of
be
people.
some major players that come up out of this for
Yep.
100%.
Yep, it's very neat to see. It's fun to see it's fun to see the American spirit of what has happened over the last couple months, and like Camus. Camus has done a phenomenal job of keeping us boats in stock. And I'm not just bragging on Camus because they're one of our brands, but there's brands that get you boats and there's brands that's not, and it's everywhere. Like if you can't get motors or you can't get widgets, that run your boat. And some of these companies that have figured out ways around it to make it happen and keep it moving,
That's why they're growing right now.
That is. I mean, and from a Camus standpoint, Urbans isn't dumb. He's done it for a year or two. He knows what he's doing, and it's fun watching the companies that are adaptive. And I guarantee you, if you asked Earl, it's not because he's done it in the past that he's got. How do I say it? I don't think it's a relationship or a situation that he's done in the past. I think he's taken his experience from the past and said, I watched this happen in 1986. I watched this happen in 2000, blah, 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 whatever it was. And he knows how to pivot and say, you know what? We're going to find a new vendor. We're going to find a new supplier. Some of the boats are going to have these. Some of the boats are going to, and some of it you just kind of got to throw your hands up in there and say, COVID happened. How do we get boats to customers that want to buy boats and get on the water and take their family fishing? And there's brands that have done a really good job of that, whether it's tackle people that say, I got laid off from my job when COVID hit and I started pouring my own plastic baits and now we're doing that. It's been fun to watch the American spirit rise in a hard time, I think.
And even a lot of the larger bait. Let me hold it.
No,
You're good with it.
I'm good with it. Okay.
Yeah.
Not awkward at all.
no, it's fine. What do I do? I don't know.
I don't know what to do with my hands. But even your bigger bait companies, your Strike Kings, your Spros, Spro they added like 1,800 new SKUs last year. I mean,
Spro's crushed it.
They
in my
have
opinion.
absolutely killed it. They've got soft plastics now. They've got rods and reels coming down the line. They've got everything that you can imagine. You can literally pick up Spro line, Strike King line is, those bigger companies have really expanded their offerings too. Mm-hmm. Like you said, because a lot of them can't just get product. I mean,
It's neat.
it's COVID.
It's neat to see.
Question: who do you think's gonna win the classic? Make your pick. 1 to 2 anglers now.
Ooh.
Yes.
Oh man, bringing it back.
Yes.
I'll go. Let me go first
Okay.
because I've got Drew's been talking downstairs, and I'm completely different than what he thinks. So I'm gonna go.
We got to specify.
Drew C
Ah,
and me, I think, are drastically
Daily
different.
dose of Drew coming at you.
lots of Drew.
I think it is going to be a largemouth river slugfest. I think everybody says they're going to do it for a day or two. No. You're going to see a Porosnik. You're going to see Jason Christie. You're going to see somebody, I think, go up that river and do the impossible.
He
3 days
almost
in a row.
won it in 15.
Yeah.
in a main lake bite when
Yeah.
everybody was down there. I think it's going to be there's only 55 boats. It's not like you've got, in the river guy in a 55 boat tournament, it's going to be hard to beat. And you got the perfect weather for it. If I was coming down to practice, I'd go to the main lake and I would do that, right? You know what I mean? Because that's what you're supposed to do. You check all the boxes of Hartwell, right? Dude, this ain't it. What boxes? Shorts. That wasn't on the list.
Yeah.
That wasn't on the list. Jason Christie, for instance, running an express. We interviewed him today. I don't got to worry about beating my boat up. I don't got to worry about getting in somewhere I shouldn't get in. As long as I protect my lower unit, I'm good. I think a guy like that, a guy that's got nothing to lose and everything to gain, and I think Jason's fired up to be back at Bass. I think
He deserves one. As
he's going to have to
crazy
earn
as
it.
that sounds,
I know
freaking
he's going to have
deserves
to
one.
earn it. There's no doubt. But I think a largemouth guy is going to go do something. And I don't want to say off the wall because I'm sure there's guys that are around who are like, that's all I fish is largemouth. I don't go chase those. There's going to be a largemouth guy that goes, and I think there's going to be out of the top 10. I think you're going to have 3 to 4 largemouth guys, and I think this could be the year in Hartwell that they crush it from that standpoint. I think it's going to be a crankbait. It's going to be meat and potatoes. I think it's going to be redneck bass fishing, 1978 spinnerbait, crankbait, and a flipping a jig.
Hank Parker.
Yep.
Coming out, baby.
Yep. That's where I'm at.
Yeah.
That's where I'm at.
I like that. I respect. I think you're wrong, but
30 minutes later, I just had to restart.
Okay.
Oh, I
Yep.
respect that.
Yep. So something else. Now let me tell you what I saw. I saw a lot of spinning rods.
We talked about that.
I saw a lot of spinning rods, but then I saw some swim baits.
Yes, sir.
And I ain't talking
Big swim, like tennis shoe swim baits?
Flip flops, yes.
Yes, the ones that look like my Nike Air Maxes. And I saw eye slides. I saw line through swim baits. And they weren't on the deck of boats with a sticker of the sponsor of the brand by it. These were the ones that were cut off, sitting on the corners, hidden,
Tucked away inside.
tucked away, and you say, "Hey, we want to talk about Mega Bass. Let's talk about Mega Bass." And let's move that out of the way. But that was an eye slide. You know what I mean? There is a bite going on that I think you're gonna see one of the coolest swim bait bites that have ever happened go down this week. Now, are they gonna talk about it? I don't know that answer.
They got to talk about it. It's on live.
Maybe. I think there's gonna be some giants caught.
There'll be a lot of big
I rest
bags
my
waiting.
case.
So you're going Christie.
No.
Yeah. We went on a tangent.
Two people.
Yeah.
I've been so buried in work that I don't even know who's fishing 100%. One, I'm going Chad Pipkins. He's my boy. I've traveled with Chad when he qualified for the elites. He's my buddy. Chad's gonna win it. Number two, I am having a freaking mind blank. Who won the Alabama Nation thing at the championship?
Matty Wong?
No.
Shane Powell.
Shane Powell. Gosh, sorry, Shane. Shane Powell. He's a college buddy. It's Shane. Third, Joey Nanina. He's another friend from back in the day.
Dude.
I'm going with friends. I'm not going with who I... We're going with friends.
He's letting his heart pick.
My heart's picking. My heart's picking.
This is why he fails in
heart
fantasy football.
Alabama got second this year.
Okay, your turn. Who?
Oh, going to me.
I think
Allow
so.
me, sir.
Allow you.
You talk about Jason Christie, like deserving one, and I feel like that is 100% accurate. I also, if I'm gonna pick from the heart, like from the heart, who I want to see in my just deepest heart of heart feels, we'll see Brandon Palaniuk.
That'd be cool.
That would be cool.
That now is I don't know. I don't really know. So the I talked to Big Game about some of those guys that are going to chase herring or stay down lake and fish clean water and go shallow and maybe big old potbellies moving up. As much as I would love to see Jason Christie win wire to wire on dirty water where you can see that deep on a spinnerbait.
Go on a spinnerbait going.
Oh yeah, did rod tip just.
It's a hubcap.
Yeah. He's going full Sabine River, except it's 20-pound bags every day, not 12. But I like to see Palaniuk. I'd like to see Christie win one, but
What about Zaldane? Big giant sponsor flips. Wouldn't it be funny if he actually locked one down? That'd be cool.
Good. I would say I'll give Drew a bunch of crap for going for his buddies, but I'll go heart to heart too. Christie or Palaniuk. So I would like to see. I think they're both capable at any given body of water to do it. Proven.
Absolutely.
So that's to you, sir, or Randy.
Randy?
Matt Airy is my first choice.
Oh yeah, I like that.
That is good.
Yeah.
And I do. I mean, just talking to him the way, he's been in a lot of the big tournaments, never has, just come into bass not too long ago, fished a lot of FLWs. But he is a good angler, I really think. And it's setting up, he's very versatile. And after talking to him today.
Did he have a fetch on?
No.
Oh, swim bait going on and we don't have a lunker hunt fetch? I thought.
Yeah, he finished second. Oh,
He
no,
did?
he did. Yes, he did. Yes. He did have that on. And the vibe he was giving off, yes, I think he can. And the other one would be Brandon Palaniuk. I'd like to see that. Either one of them.
Seth Fighter. He's so diverse.
All of these guys in here are great.
And no,
There's nobody you can be like, I don't think he's going to do well.
I don't care if you're Shane Powell that qualified through Alabama fishes a bunch of sticks.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah, you don't make it here by accident.
No.
You don't get to the Classic by not knowing what you're doing.
Cobb, just for the record. Brandon,
Yeah.
Oh, I was going there.
Yeah. Oh, my bad.
See, now you just ruined his
You
whole thing.
got premature and
Yes.
just
Yeah,
ruined it.
he always
We'll
does
edit
that.
back out.
Okay.
Fix
Yeah.
that.
But no, that's my two picks, and like I said, I think it'll set up for both of them. And Pollinek was confident today, and all of them was confident. I mean, there's a reason they're here. They are the best in the world. I mean, they are. But now it's up to you, Ben. And he'll handle the mic on his own there.
I got it.
But you don't want me to?
Would you?
Yeah.
Do you mind?
Sure.
Okay. There we go. So everybody else picked with their heart. I've got a head pick. With
Brought this guy.
I don't. Drew called Van Damme. You know.
Well, Van Damme.
Yeah. I'm thinking with my brain.
The old noggin.
Yeah, with the noggin. And I'm going to say Brandon Cobb. He won the last time the Elites were here. He is a Hartwell guy.
Yep.
I think you could probably say the same for Shane LaHue.
Yep.
Yes.
I mean, both of them are Hartwell sticks and really cut their teeth on this lake. And then, so right now in the Elites, the guests on Fishing University TV show are 2 for 2.
Oh.
So
Good there.
John Cruz
All you
slid
fantasy anglers?
that right in. So John Cruz filmed a show with us this year. Goes out and wins the St. John River. Buddy Gross filmed a show with us this year. Goes out and wins. So with that being said, I think I'm going to pull for my buddy Wes Logan.
Yep.
Because he would
Is
make
that the heart? I think it's the heart.
Yeah, I got a head and a heart. Yeah, absolutely. So, and again, I feel like the Fishing University luck is going to be with him, or it could be John or Buddy. So, you know,
Do you know Tristan McCormick?
I do know Tristan McCormick. Don't know him well, but I've met him a couple times, talked to him. Good dude and a freaking stick.
What does he do? I mean, he's from Tennessee, right? Like
He
you're
is.
from there.
He actually lives.
What's he do? Like, is it flipper? Is he a offshore guy?
He's a Kentucky Lake offshore guy.
Yeah.
But now he's really good with live scope, really good with his electronics, and there's not a lot
Yep.
that he can't do.
Yep. I'm leaning back on my gut, and it's going to be a down and dirty Denny Brower. I'd take a Denny Brower, Iaconelli, somebody old school. Is it funny that we're saying Iaconelli and old school? But like an
But
old
you
school
can't go to
fisherman.
your cell phone and look at the crew.
I have to. I don't know who's here. I
And
didn't
then
even look.
just change your.
No.
We were at media day, bro.
I get it. And I was on the phone working all day.
You talked to 40 of them.
So here's my thing. Dark horses.
Okay.
Jared Miller, Norman, Oklahoma. Redneck, down and dirty, Oklahoma. Big thumper spinnerbait, flipping a jig. I don't know the man at all, but I bet he does it. He lives in Norman, Oklahoma. If you don't know how to fling a blade and chunk a jig in Oklahoma, something's wrong with you. So that's one that pops out to me. Back to Shane Powell, one of my college fishing buddies.
Apparently, well, you really like Shane Powell.
Right.
Well,
Super high.
but he was my third. But I will say, but he's from Eufaula.
He didn't even know his name.
Jesus Christ.
Yes.
Jesus Christ.
He's got 45 on the list right now.
Yeah.
We said 2.
That's a way he will not be wrong.
Yeah, exactly.
John Cox. Who would ever bet against John
How
Cox?
can you ever bet against him?
Now, if you think there's going to be a river shallow bite,
Yep.
you
Bad
can't.
fish.
Yeah, you can't.
Dark horse again. Del Rio, Texas.
Ray
That-
Hanselman Jr.
That's
The
a
only-
flipper.
The only guy to ever win 3 Costas back to back to back,
Oh,
and then
that's
won
right.
the championship.
That's right. That's right. I forgot about that.
That's one of the most impressive stats that I've ever heard about
Out of
anybody.
anyone.
Yes.
I bet he knows how to
right?
flip a
Yeah.
jig.
Same season.
Yeah. Yeah. Won all 3. What, Central? I think it was.
Yeah.
Or Southwest.
Yeah.
I think it was
All
Southwest.
3 in the same season.
And then won the
Then
championship.
won the championship. I want whatever horseshoe he has in his boat.
Brian New's a hammer.
Dude, Brian, you catch them everywhere. And he said today, I was reading on one of his articles, he said that he would go 5 or 6 hours without seeing another competitor boat.
We heard that a lot, though.
Yeah.
We heard that a lot, though. Believe it
the
or not.
lake fish is big
So
enough.
big.
Fish is
That's-
huge.
Yeah.
Yep.
The,
Yep.
The thing I think the only thing you've got to watch about the flippers, and the only reason I know this is because it happened to me. I was running way up the Tugalo, way up it, and was catching them flipping last year. Had a really good practice. Got back in there the morning of the tournament, and the water dropped 1.5 feet and went from 10 inches of visibility to 3 feet in a day and a half.
Yep.
And you talk about killing
What creek was that?
the Tugalo River.
Tugalo Boogaloo. Yeah. Just does it. No, I feel you. I'm kind of cringing. Like
I ran 30 minutes up there,
cringe,
and
man.
like, 15 minutes later, I'm flipping a bush and I'm watching my bait go to the bottom of it, and I'm like, this ain't good.
Drop the troll motor first cast before you get it going. Oh man.
Yes.
What have I done?
Yes.
Brandon Lester's got some momentum. There's no doubt.
Dude, he won one of the toughest tournaments I've ever fished.
No comment.
No comment. Yeah, it was. We're not
Taki E2. I mean,
he
he's
catches them everywhere he goes.
everywhere he goes, and he's
We're
good at the
going to
north.
go through this list and talk about
We can
everybody.
go through the whole list.
No,
We can say
I-
every Japanese
I go-
angler on there has proven themselves worthy of the Elite Series.
Yeah.
I mean, every one of them are strong contenders.
Matt Herron is one I looked at him and goes, I think it's going to be a river deal, and some of those old school style guys are going to do it. Now, it's probably going to get one on a Demiki rig in 485 feet of water, but I don't know, man.
I don't say. I see.
What's the ratio of spots to largemouth
Oh, that's a good one.
For what, the winter?
for the winter? 60-40 is what I think it'll be.
Well, if I go...
But it could 60% spots, 40% largemouth. I think it can be won on straight spots.
This lake could do it.
I just don't think this week.
But I'm like you. The way it's setting up, or docks.
So I really think that, yes, there's going to be a lot. I think the majority of the fish are going to be offshore. They're going to be roaming. They're going to be doing that thing. I think they're not spawning, the majority. But I think if you go up in a river and you crack 65-degree water, 62-degree water, there's fish in pockets. There's fish in pockets right now that are getting ready to do their thing. And those largemouth, I don't think the largemouth roam. They do, but I don't think they roam as much as a spotted trout. And
Or spotted bass.
or a spotted bass. Same thing. Same thing in my vocabulary.
It's a
But I just,
Hartwell's a dynamic fishery.
I think those spots are going to be
Especially
roaming.
at the Tugalo or Tugalo.
Tuggalo Bugalo.
Tugalo.
That's a tugboat creek.
I think there's going to be largemouth that these guys have found that they know they live in this area. And this is where like the local guys might know that this pocket, that pocket, this pocket always pulls in the first wave.
Those sirens for you.
Hope not. Hope not.
They're coming
I think
from
if it's up in
Tennessee.
the dirty water, yes, but the spots always go up first. They're going to head up
That's
first.
why I thought it would be
Yeah,
more
that's
spots.
what it is. That's
why
why
I think
spots
spots
move up
okay,
first.
okay.
I feel like
Yep.
Tabor
Yes,
Rock,
that's-
Bull Shoals, and that the spots
Yes.
are going to go up first.
100%. You are right.
But now if they're in the mud and stuff, yes, it'd be largemouth. But around here, I think it'll be a lot more of the spots coming up that they'll be catching shallow.
It's just a cool lake.
Yeah.
Like it's huge, and you can spread out, and you can run 35, 45 minutes up like 3 or 4 different rivers,
It's
and just go forever and get away from people and find whatever you want to find.
I think you've got somebody that's flipping and spinnerbaiting and some stain and going to catch some big ones. I think those fish are going to lock down. Where the other ones roam, I think you're going to find a key bank, a key stretch, some docks, something that those fish are moving on first. That's going to go. I think it's going down in the spawning way. Big leagues. And maybe I'm going to be, and not saying that they're going to catch them sight fishing, looking at them, but I think that they're moving onto beds, they're getting in those areas, they're getting in those dead water, slack water stuff sections, they're getting off bait fish patterns, and they're getting onto that type of stuff.
And there's still a big chance, like you said, everything it's still pre-spawn. What's one of the best pre-spawn baits there is? And who's won the last 2 classics? Hank Cherry, and it'd be awesome if he did. I mean,
Has anybody? Nobody's won.
Nobody's won 3 in a row.
No one's
It
won
could be
3
him.
in a row, and it is. I mean, it's setting
You
up for
could
the
set up.
perfect.
You're right.
I mean, the perfect pre-spawn bait. I mean,
And with that, I'm not saying you can't catch him on a jerkbait up where I'm
No,
talking,
no,
because
but yeah.
if he runs up that river and gets largemouth that are moving up into spawning pocket, I mean, it's just like Lake of the Ozarks, Grand. You know what I mean? I think they're going to get off. You'll still catch them on baits that are, but I don't think they're going to chase a blue bat. I think we're getting to that spot that the biggins. What fish spawn first? The biggins.
Yeah.
I think some of those biggins are going to pull up on some secondaries, on some little channel swings, some stuff, or docks right before they slide up and do their
Start
thing.
staging big time.
And I think it's going to be a staging pattern wins this thing. Now, is it a spotted bass or is it a largemouth? I can't go there, but I think it's going to be a staging bite that they're getting off to chase the herring, they're going on to the spawn mode, and I think that's how it's going to be going, in my opinion. Do you know my career winnings are $13?
And this was brought to you tonight by Tostitos and homemade salsa that Drew C made for everybody tonight.
Brought it all the way from Springfield.
That's why he's got flip-flops on right now.
Yep.
He mashed the tomatoes his very own.
You know,
right there in front
it
of
comes
everybody.
out in the shape of the Tostitos bottle, but that's
Yes.
not. That's
It's-
just a
it's-
You just wash that bottle and
Yeah,
yeah,
but
that's
that's-
right. Yeah, that's what my grandma used to do. Yeah.
And we also had the famous band here. And later on, they'll be singing down at Jack and Diane's Piano Bar. Stays
Greenville,
Little
North,
ditty.
South Carolina.
Little, I could
Little
not get
ditty,
that out of
come
my
on,
head
man.
the whole time.
Oh,
Just a
let's
little
slow
ditty.
that down.
Little ditty.
How's it gonna be won?
Damn, man, put me on the spot. I wasn't ready. Ben, how's it gonna be won?
I think it's going to be
No,
one
that's
on.
not it.
Okay. I think it's going to be one on moving baits. I think a spinnerbait, a chatterbait, a crankbait, something like that. I don't think they move as quickly in these type of reservoirs as they do like in Florida. Like,
Sure.
you know, Florida fish, you know, they're not bedding and then
Poof.
poof. There's a bunch of them. That's what I've been told. I've suck in Florida.
I'm over 35.
yeah. But I don't think they move up that quick. So I think it's going to be moving baits, you know, maybe on some points, chatterbait, spinnerbait, crankbait, or like skipping a jig or maybe a Nico, something like that, under a dock.
Man, if somebody could win on like a spinnerbait,
It'd be fun.
it's just not cool anymore. Who talks about spinnerbaits anymore? Like, you know what I mean? Everybody throws them, but nobody throws them to win. Right? Like, it's not.
Just keep them honest. Is the only reason you throw them.
Right, right, and it's not that short of Cumberland on the one day in PFL last week. But I mean, kudos for the guy to doing it because man, I would love like big old largemouth eating a blade, knocking a foot, coming in behind it, knocking a foot of slack in your line. Like, who doesn't love that bite?
When you reel
Yeah.
2 cranks and you're like, I keep feeling you.
Yeah. Like, that's like in my heart of hearts. Like, yeah, I would go for the heart again. I'd love somebody to win a major tournament on a spinnerbait. Show it a little love, and everybody throws it. They're still effective. That's a chatterbait, or like you said, Debiki, or a big
You can
live
go
bait.
Jason Christie if there's a. I mean, name a
But
better.
you could be, but, you know,
Name a better bug. You know,
a big
spinnerbait
live
thrower.
bait could kill.
I think that would be. I think it's going to happen at some point.
This could be the swim bait.
It's good.
This could be the swim bait.
Not underspin, but like swim
no,
bait.
big dog.
Yes.
There's never been a major tournament won on like a KGB style bait or something like that.
No.
And it could go. There could be a guy that pulls out a KGB Baitworks edition KGB and freaking mash on them. I mean, it could absolutely. As many of we've shipped off to these pros that nobody wants to talk about, there could be something like that happens. You see
in
a
this
lot
region
of
of the country.
I think so.
Oh,
you
I
think they're
know so.
chunked around here? I mean, I'm sure
Yes.
there's a.
There's a select.
100%.
There's a select
Yes,
few
by
guys
guys
do
that are saying shut the hell up
Yes.
right now, like don't talk about it. It could 100% go down. Now, whether it goes down, here's my thing. This is interesting. There's not many Jason Christies in this crowd at the Classic. Agree or disagree? Just the old school throw a spinnerbait type of thing.
Matt Herring.
Matt Herring.
Matt Herring, dude, Wes Logan.
But how many young
Right.
kids? How many young kids are going to be flinging swim baits in the dam area? If that water rises enough, and those pre-spawners start staging on structure, not necessarily just chasing herring, it could get dirty on big baits.
Guys are getting, like, nobody ever talked about them 5 years ago. But you got people like Carl and the Glida, Carl Jakobsen and the Glida, and Polinick is wading fish on them.
How many times has Polinick tried to win, or Chris Zaldane tried to win on one of those baits and go all in?
Yeah.
That's what I like, and I don't want to get into this
And
too far.
Zaldane for sure, yeah.
Yeah, I don't
Zaldane-
want to get too far into this, but that's what I like about Bassmaster versus like MLF. Like, you have the guys that they go get their little limit because they got to get their points, but then you look at Zaldane that just says, I'm going to die hard. I'm going all in. Classic last year. I'm going all in, big bait, big stage, big fish, and just freaking, they might zero.
One 8-pounder on a big spoon.
We talk about like Paul Nick. How many times has he made a top 10 cut by the skin of his teeth?
Yep.
Yes.
And then it goes out like, I have ground to make up. This is the bait I'm going to do.
This is the bait I'm throwing. It's as big as
I
my-
went from the cusp, and all of a sudden now I'm fishing the final day. What do I have to lose? I'm in it now. And yeah, that's a great point.
And all of
No
us
points
got
in this
here.
tournament.
I mean,
No points
all-
in this tournament, but it's if you go to all of a sudden now I'm fishing the final day and I need to make up ground. Those guys that have proven to be swing for the fences and not care are good with that high risk, high reward. That's a
I still
big
think
place
it'll
to
be a moving bait, and I mean, a lot of people don't do it, but I absolutely, and I've caught some big old bags and stuff in absolute mud throwing a stick bait, just like you would a jig. Throw it up there, and I mean, I'm talking short lining. I mean, 10 foot in the bank, throw it up there and stuff. So I mean, I think it'll be.
Dude, Hank Cherry could absolutely pull a stunt like that.
No, that's what. Yeah, that's why
nobody's
a lot of people
used
don't
to
think
see.
of that.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
I love
There
it
could
when
be-
a lake gets taper rock gets rolling mud down there in creek arm. I've done some of my best bags and it's tough as hell, and get down there and actually catch them on a stick bait. Just throw it up there, and I mean, you jerk dirt, pause, jerk dirt, dirt. They can feel it. It's the lateral line, just like the rednecks and the lateral line. You know, we have with the flashing lights.
Yeah.
Same thing. It happens.
visually impaired.
NASCAR,
Yeah.
baby.
Yeah.
One of the things that sticks out about the Bassmaster Classic to me is like one. As long as I've been a big fan of the sport, it's always been in the. You know, I know they did them in the summer, and I'm all for the summer event. Like last year was cool.
Last year was
and
cool.
like going up north would be freaking awesome. But like when I close my mind, like my eyes, and think about the Bassmaster Classic, like Louisiana Red River, Alton Jones went in that pocket, and like it was colder than cold, and he's catching them on a Cinco, a bunch of fish about to spawn, and it blows your mind how much further the fish are than what the average, me being the average angler, thinks they are. And like watching these guys that are this good and make these decisions and are ahead of the curve, and it always seems like, and it could be media and it could be hype, but you look at how good these guys are going. It changed at 3 o'clock on this day, or 1 o'clock on this day, or 2 o'clock, or 10 o'clock, something happened. Those guys pick that up. I mean, some of those stories you were talking about, KVD when he's fishing on Table Rock and caught him on top water when that those decisions that get made by some of these guys. It's fun in the spring because it's changing so fast and so much. We have one of the coolest weather patterns that have happened on a light winter. It could be a fun, off-the-wall situation. And whether it happens with clear water, whether it happens in the river, whether it happens in 8 inches of water, or it happens in 38 feet of water, it's going to be fun watching this classic go down.
There's nothing off the table.
There's not on this event. There's nothing off the table, and it's the Bassmaster Classic.
It's Catalina
It's-
wine mixer.
It's the Bassmaster Classic.
Catalina wine mixer.
It's gonna be fun. Like it's gonna go down, and watching, Randy Howe and his howler crankbait just explode because he caught him on that.
Choke the Livingston.
Yes.
Like something's going down in the next 72 hours in bass fishing, and it's gonna be lived for a long time, and it's gonna be fun. We're gonna talk about it. We're gonna bring it to you live from our rooftop.
I've got one more pick.
Oh, okay.
Just hit me here when we were
Get the
talking.
dub.
Patrick Walters.
Talk about
Of
jerkbait.
course.
How can
Talk
you
about jerkbait.
How can you ever bet against Patrick Walters right now?
Brandon Cobb and Patrick Walters would be an easy, surefire pick.
Yeah.
You've got John Cruz, that's obviously on a hot streak, that lives local. You've got the old school guys that you could go with. I mean,
You can go with anyone with the 55.
you can go with any of them.
The door's open. I mean,
This is an event that you could see a Bass Nation guy win. You could see a college guy win. Like, this is an event you could go pick up a rock crawler, a wiggle wart, a jerkbait, a spinnerbait, and just go win it. Why? Because I have my trolling motor on high. Like, that could go down 100%. It's there. Anything could happen in this one.
And by the way, tomorrow night at this time, we can all change our decisions all the way around.
Didn't I tell you?
We should reconvene
It was
tomorrow.
a single tail grub and a football jig.
Okay, yeah, that's what it was. I said
I said that last
Somebody
night.
was throwing a buzzbait the whole day. I called it.
Yeah.
Called it.
Grand Lake Toyota Series. It's same conditions as right now.
Yeah.
Buzzbait made a couple people in the top 10. I weighed one in on the buzzbait.
We seen 3 or 4 buzzbaits tied on today.
We did.
Yeah.
I saw a lot of walking baits on it.
Yeah.
Just walking baits. I mean, they're gonna catch them on top. There's gonna be a guy running down the lake. This is gonna happen. There's gonna be a guy running down the lake and see him blowing
see
up.
a bar.
Yeah.
And he's gonna go, oh, poof, 18 pounds. It's gonna happen tomorrow.
I forget who we talked to today because we asked him, said, hey, you want to just get some footage on what bait you'd like to talk about? And I can't remember now who that was. And he had He said, definitely, and he pulled it out, and he pulled out 3 buzzbaits. He had a small one, medium, and large, and pulled out the large, but he had 3 buzzbaits tied on top of his box of what he had tied on. They had everything good.
Tell me they ain't going to spawn.
I mean, but yes, and I forgot.
Randy knows darn well who that was. He's just playing coy, so we can come back tomorrow.
Well, I can change tomorrow
you.
night and say, yeah, I told you that. You know. Well, the single-tail grub's amazing.
1 minute till an hour.
Do what?
So 1 minute till an hour.
So we're done.
No, I was
Are you trying to stifle
No,
us?
I was just.
John?
We're done. John wants to go eat.
John?
It is time to go eat.
Yeah,
Ben, have you
and-
eaten dinner?
I have not.
You gonna go eat with us?
I really appreciate it, but I am going to go.
Oh,
eat
that's
some
right.
jumbo
You're going to hang out with the Missile
with
Baker.
the Missile Bait crew.
He's too cool. We just got denied on TV.
Oh, no.
Well,
It's not TV. It's a podcast.
It's a podcast.
It doesn't count.
it'll
It's
be
kinda like
on
it-
the YouTube.
It'll be on the YouTube.
And we plugged him good. I mean, I really thought when you called Kevin Van Dam, the first thing he said no, but he said you called Ben, and he said
I thought for sure we'd get dinner out.
Yeah, I thought we'd get that much.
No piano bar tonight.
Nobody's talked about what we're doing after.
We are literally
After
on top
supper?
of the piano bar.
Ben, we're going to the piano bar. I don't know if you, I don't know if you do that or not.
We literally went to the piano bar every single night last year.
So we're gonna end this. We're gonna wrap this up. This is our
We
first
need to.
podcast. We're gonna be out first thing in the morning at Bassmaster Classic Takeoff. We're gonna go do some snooping. Randy Conlon, RC Cola, and John, the camera guy, are gonna go do snooping with the guys in the morning, and then we're gonna do a podcast once they blast off. We'll see if our opinions change. We're gonna try to do what? 3-4 more podcasts this week.
Yeah.
Keep everybody in the loop.
Thanks for having me. I've
Dude.
enjoyed it.
Ben, I was pleasantly surprised
You
when
ain't
he
used to-
called and said you were in town. I was like, heck yeah, we're going to piano bar.
You're not used to it being so professional.
Or for language, but
Yes.
that's okay.
You're in awe
It's
right
Catalina
now.
wine mixer.
It's
okay?
the
So,
Catalina wine maker.
for kids.
Good times.
All right, everybody, check us out, follow us, watch us. We're going to try to keep everybody up to date. It is the Bassmaster Classic Boatworks and Baitworks style. We are,
Any questions,
Serious.
comments?
Yes.
Let us have it.
yeah, let us know some comments. If you guys like this, let us know. If you don't, keep it to yourself.
Scroll on by.
Scroll on by. Swipe it right. All right, see you guys. Thank
Thanks,
you.
everyone.